Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to learn English fast. Now I know that a lot of you are on that intermediate or perhaps even upper intermediate level and you want to get to that advanced or proficient level. Believe me, I know how that feels. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 tips that worked wonders for me. Now, but before we do, if you want to see more of these videos and you'd like to support the channel, please click on the like button and the subscribe button down below. It really helps me out. All right, on with the video. Tip number 1 that worked really well for me is to have a clear, great goal. Now, you might want to separate this into or break this down into smaller goals, but for me, that one big goal was really helpful. Now, what was that? It was that I wanted to be a part of that world. I wanted to be a part of that English-speaking world because in my mind, news, films, music, it always seems to happen first in English, whether that's in the States or on the international level or even UK, Australia, whenever. It always seemed to me like, you know, the current things, the current beat of the world, if you will, was happening in English. And I wanted to be a part of that. I didn't want to wait for anyone to interpret it for me or to translate it for me. I wanted to be a part of that world as me. All right. Tip number 2 is you gotta have fun. Now, I've spent years studying English. You know, I went to school, I had courses probably like many of you. I learned grammar, vocabulary, yada, 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 yada. So it's safe to say it's not a one day or 1 week process. It takes time and it can get very, very tedious and overwhelming and all sorts of other things. And so motivation is a problem. You can easily run out of motivation because there's just so much and it seems to never stop. So how to keep my motivations up? Well, I want to find a place where it's always going to be fun for me. For me, that place is pronunciation. I'm getting a kick out of sort of contorting my face into all these different shapes that don't exist in, let's say, Czech or French or any other of those languages that I speak because I'm a polyglot and they're specific to English. So I enjoy doing that. It's fun for me. I think it looks silly, but it gets the job done, and it's what everyone's doing when we're talking about the native speakers. And then I get the result of those faces, which is the sounds, and I get to hear them. Sometimes when I watch or listen to my own videos, which is always frustrating because you always think you could do it better. But yeah, that's what does it for me. So you want to find that place that's fun for you. So for some of you, it might be, learning weird vocabulary or spending copious amounts of time on the Urban Dictionary and memorizing those weird definitions of words. Or it might be, doing pronunciation, working on your melody, mastering accents, whatever does it for you. I suggest you find that and incorporate that into your English practice. And finally, tip number 3, and this worked really, really well for me. I recommend it to my clients or just random people that ask me how they can improve their English or how indeed they can move from that, I speak English, kind of. I read it, I write it, I can listen okay, but when I'm supposed to talk to people, it's like, I don't really want to do that. So to move from that place to, that advanced or proficient level, if you will, what worked for me was everyday practice. Now, I know it seems obvious and that you're probably doing that, but I would incorporate that with the tip number 2. It's got to be fun. It's got to be something you want to do, and then you do it many times, of course. So specifically, what worked really well for me was music and songs. So when I was younger and I was studying English, what I would do is that I would have a favorite song, and I would have just one that I would listen to again and again and again and again, like going kind of crazy, because what I wanted to figure out was what were the sounds they were saying, they were singing. So I would play it in, let's say, 5-second intervals, and then I would rewind and do it again and again, and then I would try to copy exactly as, you know, exactly as what I've heard they were saying. So if, I don't know, if I heard fleur, I would try to say fleur as clearly and crisp as I could, and I wouldn't worry about, all right, am I saying a word, or is it 2 words? Is it a sentence? What am I trying to say here? What is he trying to sing about? I didn't worry about that at all. I would just listen and then try to replicate those words for, I don't know, gosh, how many times, until I got to a point where I felt like, okay, I'm saying exactly what he's saying, and I still don't know what he's actually singing. So only then I would look up the lyrics, perhaps. But sometimes I wouldn't even do that, and I would just sort of sing along with the song with my made-up sound. What was magical about that is when I would eventually, you know, look up those lyrics or use it in a different, or somebody else would say them in a different context, it would click. It would click. I was like, oh, I know this from that song, and I've done it like, you know, 500 times. Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And from that point on, it would stuck, and I'd never lose it. So it's a favorite technique of mine that I recommend to everyone who likes music, or even quotes, let's say from films. You know, I like to use sometimes, hello there.
Hello there.
From Star Wars. Yeah, it's just fun for me, and I do that over and over and over again. So try to find something like that. You want to practice, and ideally practice every day. You know the saying, practice makes perfect. Now I would slightly tweak it. Perfect practice makes perfect. If you practice something that's wrong, it doesn't matter that you do it 10,000 times, because you've been wrong 10,000 times. So you want to make sure you're going after those details. Perfect practice makes perfect. But these are just my tips and what worked for me on my language and accent journey. Does this work for you? What are your tips or your friends' tips? Let me know down in the comment section below. And let me also know if you like these types of videos or you would like to see something else. That's it for today. Thank you so much for your time and for watching, and check you later.